That's wisdom from above. I have to refer to Bob. I love Bob. I love his life. But if you want to see a simple man, you want to see a guy that has wisdom, you can look at his life and see a man married to the same woman for 65 years. Where am I going to look at for another example like that? My grandmother. Where are you going to find a guy that stays committed to the same church for over 50 years? You see, that's godly wisdom. It's pure. It's measured out the world, and it's established itself and lived it out with a true tongue and not a forked tongue. And so when a man like that dies, it's just all honor and respect because we look up to him. It's pure wisdom. And you look at life like that and you go, man, it just seems so simple. True wisdom is. It's that wisdom from below that's wearing us out. It's killing us. Trying to keep up with the Joneses, and I don't even know anybody with the last name of Jones. And I don't even know why I'm trying to keep up with them. Well, can't we rest in God? God, you're pure, and you're holy, and you're perfect, and everything that's right comes from you. You know what? I'm just going to evaluate this whole thing, and I'm going to come to this conclusion. I'm going to do the best I can to take care of my family. I'm going to raise my wife and my children in the local church for the glory of God, and when I die, I'm going to go home. That's all you're going to do? Yes. There's wisdom in that. No regrets. Just lay down, wake up, not looking through a glass darkly, but seeing Him as He is. Man, that sounds very inviting to me. A whole lot more inviting than what they're selling on the sitcoms. All right, that's purity. Now, he gives three groupings. I'll move through these a little bit quicker. These three groupings. Number one is this idea of peaceableness, gentleness, and open to reason. There's the three that he gives under attitude. Attitude. These three reflect attitude. One, peaceable. Peaceable has to do with pertaining to harmonious relationships, easy to get along with, the sense that they relate well with others. It's got that kind of attitude. You like talking with them. They're just easy to talk with. They're not the person who's always has a sharp edge on them, always trying to correct you if you misspeak a word or something like this. There's just a sense of gentleness. You love this in a marriage if you have a wife or a husband like this, that you can just talk and be free with one another, and there's trust, and like everything you say doesn't get thrown back in your face and get beat up with you. You enjoy that part. And so a person with a very peaceful attitude. Gentle, not insisting on every right or letter of the law or custom. They yield, they're gentle, they're courteous. I don't know, it's the person in a sense that still remembers the day when you actually opened the door for somebody else. You know people like that don't have to get their way and everything. It's all right that you would even let a guy go before you into a store, or most especially that you'd let a woman proceed before you. You don't have to do what my family does, and I don't place it upon you, but it's one thing that we've taught our children along the way. If you ever see my family go into a restaurant or to a store, you'll find what? You'll find my wife and my two daughters going first, and the three sons will go next. Why? We just think you ought to do that. It's just respectful. Even cowboys take off their hat when they come in a room. So show a little bit of respect and let others go first and not be so contentious about everything. If there's one thing that, kind of skipping subjects, but if there's one thing that I get aggravated about with people of the sense of Reformed theology, of which I very much am in the church, what I get aggravated is some people are so Reformed, they've got to get everybody right exactly like them immediately, and they have no grace, and they have no gentleness, and they have no compassion, and they don't even know how to cry anymore. True wisdom has some gentleness to it and actually loves people that may not even believe exactly everything like they believe it. Gentleness. That's what pure wisdom does. It has that kind of attitude with it. In Philippians he says, let your reasonableness be known to everyone, or let your gentleness be known to everyone. Or in Matthew on the Sermon on the Mount, blessed are the meek, blessed are the gentle. Why? They're going to inherit the entire earth. And even in the sense of correcting others, correcting his opponents with gentleness. It's a characteristic, an attitude that pure wisdom brings. Thirdly, open to reason, compliant, obedient. You understand a person open to reason that you could actually have a conversation with and that if they're wrong, they will actually listen to the points of the other person. You know, some people say, well, we talked about this one-on-one, but one party wasn't talking. One party was just making sure the other one knew what they thought. That's not open to reason. I've had that happen in 12 years of ministry. Well, we talked to the pastor. Gee, thanks. Please don't talk to me like that no more. It's not a good day. I mean, it wasn't open to reason. We weren't having a reasonable conversation. They're just telling me where to get off the truck, you know, and don't come back. And so that's not it. Open to reason is we respect each other enough, and we have such an attitude that I want to hear from you and you want to hear from me. And even if we both have to change in the process, we're open to have the conversation because we love each other as people created in the image of God. Does this sound good? I mean, not my preaching, but just the qualities. I like to meet a person who has wisdom from above because they have attitude like this. They have an attitude that is very peaceful, very gentle, and they're open to reason. It's like one of those people you meet on the mission field down in Mexico, and you stay up till 3 in the morning just talking about the things of God, and you just met them yesterday, and you're like, man, I feel like I've known this person my whole life. Man, this is such a joy. Pure wisdom creates that. Wouldn't you love to have that in your local church? That there's people within the local church and you're like, you know what? After the service, I really don't even want to go home. This is my favorite people to hang out with all week. You know, here at our local church, after we get through hearing the word preached, we're just going to eat together. We're going to chill out and laugh together. We're going to ask about each other's kids. We're going to ask about jobs. We're going to talk. We may pray together. We may cry together. We may slide off into a prayer room and pray together and just encourage one another. Man, I love people with an attitude like we have in our local church. I just love coming to church. Amen? Don't you want a church like that? I mean, I've had enough church. I've had 43 years of church. I've seen churches of every kind. I've seen churches you go to and you want to take a shield and a bat just to protect yourself. Look, I don't need all of that. I got enough of that at Sandy Beach and Shortstop to do me in. I mean, I'd like to come and just have family and fellowship, and we have a pure God, and we're seeking to go towards Him, and we have an attitude that reflects that we love Him and He loves us. You say, brother, you're dreaming. I think it's possible. And I think that's what James is telling to the local church. I think he's presenting it to them and encouraging them to be this way. Now, he says after those things on attitude, he says this upon our actions. Actions full of mercy and full of good fruits. Full of mercy, full of good fruits. Both of these are actions in relation to people. Full of mercy and good fruits is only seen in how we do certain things with others. Mercy, kindness or concern expressed for someone in need. Kindness or concern expressed for someone in need. A person with true wisdom operates this way. They hear something, so-and-so passed away. So-and-so's in the hospital. So-and-so lost their job. So-and-so had a child that did this. So-and-so had a friend that did that. And what happens? I love that old song. I can't sing it. I wish somebody could. But mercy came running like a prisoner set free. You see, pure wisdom hears of a need, and the first response from the heart to the mind and out the mouth is, how can I help? Right? That's what mercy does. Full of mercy. That's what wisdom produces, that type of action. You say, so-and-so passed away. I bet they'll want a cheesecake. Right? That's what mercy does. This is what they'll need. The leaves need to be swept. The church needs to be vacuumed. We need to set up the tables. We got to do something. We got to help. We got to show love. That's what mercy does. It just wants to come out and touch somebody. It's not concerned with itself. It's like, how can I give to the other? Full of mercy. It's overflowing. Not only full of mercy, but full of good fruits. And I look, you got the list in Galatians 5. You have different fruit lists here and there and different things that we could conclude as fruit. Or you can go to John 15 and look at abiding in the vine and producing fruit. Or you can look in the Sermon on the Mount and producing fruit 30-fold, 60-fold, and 100-fold. But here we have it again, full of good fruit. What is fruit? Well, this will be a radical definition for you. Fruit is the product or the outcome of something. That's pretty deep, isn't it? Fruit is the outcome of something, the product of something. Apples are the fruit of an apple tree. Okay? Church splits are the fruit of bitter, jealous, and selfishly ambitious people. Okay? Church unity is the fruit of people who have heaven-sent wisdom, who have a purity about them and an attitude that works out in this action. And so you have these type of fruits. Right? So full of mercy and full of good fruit. I ask you, is that a description of you? Is this who you are? Is it who you are that when it comes to true wisdom, you're focused upon the pure God, you have an attitude that is just bubbling over, if you will, with peaceableness, gentleness, and open to reason. And the way that is made evident is by the fact that you're always trying to be merciful to someone, always trying to give, always trying to be a blessing to someone else besides yourself. Is that a good description? If we looked up true heaven-sent wisdom in the dictionary, would your picture be beside it? Would it be there? And you say, well, maybe half my picture would. It's an area, but at least we know what true wisdom is. True wisdom is this way. It has these type of actions with it. Mercy prompts actions which good deeds are done unto the needy. By the way, James chapter 2, we looked at it extensively, did we not? You say you have faith, I say I have works. You show me your faith without your works, and I'll show you my faith by my works. And so James has already set the context for this. You want to see true wisdom in action, then it is displayed in the way that you live. It's displayed in the way in which we relate to one another. Wisdom from below, they don't deserve my kindness. Wisdom from below, who do they think they are? They don't ever do anything for me. Wisdom from below in the marriage, who does he think he is? I'm not submitting to him. I'm not doing that. I ain't doing this. And it's always jockeying in positions for ourselves. That is a worldly, carnal, earthly, unspiritual, demonic wisdom. Heaven-sent wisdom, how can I be merciful? How can I be kind? How can I be a blessing? How can I serve? How can I invest? Think about that. Think about that as he is writing to the local church. Think about that in all of those subjects, but let's take it in this one, the local church. How can I best use mercy and good fruit? How can I best display that?